Welcome all to my YouTube channel Mechanical Study, where we study different mechanical systems. In today's lecture, we are going to study about thermostatic expansion valve. The thermostatic expansion valve is the most commonly used expansion device, which is generally used in commercial and industrial systems. This is also called as constant superheat valve because it maintains the constant superheat of the vapor refrigerant at the end of the evaporator coil by controlling the flow of liquid refrigerant through the evaporator. The thermostatic expansion hall, as shown on the screen, consists of a needle valve and a sheet, a metallic diaphragm, spring, and adjusting screw. In addition to this, it has filler or thermal bulb which is mounted on the suction line near the outlet of the evaporator coil. The filler bulb is partly filled with same liquid refrigerant as used in refrigeration system. The opening and closing of valve depends upon the springs pressure acting on the bottom of the diaphragm, the evaporator pressure acting on the bottom of the diaphragm, the pillar bulb pressure acting on the top of the diaphragm. Since the pillar bulb is installed on the suction line, therefore it will be at the same temperature as the refrigerant at that point. Any change in temperature of refrigerant will cause change in pressure in the pillar bulb, which will be transmitted to the top of the diaphragm. Under normal operating conditions, the pillar bulb pressure acting at the top of the diaphragm is balanced by the springs pressure and evaporator pressure acting at the bottom of the diaphragm. The force tending to close the valve is dependent upon the spring pressure and evaporator pressure, which in turn depends upon the saturation temperature of the refrigerant in the evaporator coil. The force tending to open the valve depends upon the pillar bulb pressure, which in turn depends upon the temperature of refrigerant in the valve. Thus, the operation of valve is controlled by the difference between the two temperatures, that is nothing but the saturation temperature and pillar bulb temperature, which is the superheat. So we can say degree of superheat. The degree of superheat of vapor refrigerant leaving the evaporator depends upon the initial setting of the spring tension, which can be changed with the help of spring adjusting screw. When the valve is set for a certain superheat, then it maintains that setting under all load conditions on the evaporator. If the load on the evaporator increases, it causes the liquid refrigerant to boil faster in the evaporator coil. The temperature of the filler bulb increases due to early vaporization of liquid refrigerant. Thus, the filler bulb pressure increases and this pressure is transmitted through the capillary tube to the diaphragm. The diaphragm moves downwards and opens the valve to admit more quantity of liquid refrigerant to the evaporator. This continues till the pressure equilibrium on the diaphragm is reached. On the other hand, when the load on the evaporator decreases, less liquid refrigerant evaporates in the evaporator coil. The excess liquid refrigerant flows towards the evaporator outlet, of which cools the pillar bulb. With the result, the pillar bulb pressure decreases due to decrease in its temperature. The low pillar bulb pressure is transmitted through the capillary tube to the diaphragm and moves it upward. This reduces the opening of the valve and thus flow of the liquid refrigerant to the evaporator. The evaporator pressure decreases due to reduced quantity of liquid refrigerant flowing to the evaporator. This continues till the evaporator pressure and the spring pressure maintain equilibrium with the pillar bulb pressure. Do like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.